Okay, guys, put a lightning bolt in the chat. Lightning bolt in the chat. If you can hear me, put a lightning bolt in the chat. Lightning bolt in the chat. No crackling, no nothing like that going on, right? Lord, you guys have been waiting on me. Oh my God, look how many people we got in here. Wow, I'm sitting here with my friend John. John's over from us. Say hi, John.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Good deal. So, John's got some interesting story. He's got an interesting story. Some things that's happened and things he's familiar with. Hey, come on over and sit down, bro. You get some. You're good. The world's a vampire, bro. I'm telling you, man. So we got a big live today at 4:30. We're going to be after a predator, an actual live predator. And the thing about it is, it's not just a child predator, a predator who pretty much preyed on others, and taking money. Of course, he built this big family up on YouTube, big Stan family, and he really let a lot of people down. And of course, time tells all with people. You're familiar with that. If you want to tell your story, you're more welcome to tell your story.
Well,
Introduce.
like I said, my name is John. I've been an alcoholic for about 7 years. My past is a pretty extensive one. I started my addiction when I was 14 years old, and I'm sorry, 1 second. There we go.
You're good. You're good.
But I started my addiction when I was 14 years old. Reason I started my addiction is because my sister, Catherine, she had passed away. And while she was in the hospital and she was very sick, we had learned some things about my father that I never thought I'd hear. And on her deathbed, she had told me that my father was sexually abusing her all throughout her childhood. And I had no idea. I had no idea that my father, the man who raised me, was capable of that. And that turned me into a different person. It turned me into a very rageful, instinctful, hateful person. And so I had grown up from that point. I had just, my addiction had set off. Addiction to alcohol had set off. I had gone crazy with it. And when I turned 17 years old, my younger sister, Evelyn, she had told me that dad had been sexually abusing her, had been touching her. And so, I was already big enough. I was playing football at the time. So I made the decision to go to his house and beat him into the ground until he did not have a face.
Wow. That's wild.
Yeah.
And I bet you led you to legal troubles.
It did. And when his wife had stepped out of the house, obviously she was freaking out. She didn't know what was going on. That was my stepmom, even though she was an evil person as well. The police were called, and about 5-10 minutes later, they showed up, yanked me off my dad, and ambulance showed up as well. And they had something like that. My dad was in bad shape. I had beat him. I think I had broke his jaw in like 4 different places. So they had sent him to the hospital. They took me into processing at the sheriff's station in the local town. So pretty much what happened from there is I went to juvie. I was in juvie for about 7 months for 2nd-degree assault. And they had, after so long, the judge had just said, he's doing good in juvie. He can get out on probation, like minor probation. I don't remember what the actual term for it is. Turned 18. I had made the decision to make myself homeless, and ever since then, I hadn't spoken to my father. And I'm 22 years old now. And I'm in recovery. I have about 3 months sober at this point. And so, yeah.
So now, like some of your future goals I was talking to you about earlier you was talking about, you found out, of course, who I am and what I do. And what do you think about that so far?
I think that it's a hell of a program. I think that's something that a lot of people could be interested in. A lot of people need to take participation in, because there's a lot of people like that out in the world, and it's not just sexual predators like you mentioned before.
Mhm.
There's other ways that people are predators. It's not just
Exactly.
sexually; it's mentally, physically, emotionally, materially. So there's a lot of other ways that people could learn from this, and hearing this is just kind of got me interested in this kind of stuff.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You know, I'm like pretty much. Uh, I've already pretty much helped you out today.
Mhm.
I've showed you that we're real, who we are, what we're going to do. But you know, people like you, I need. I want people to experience, people who have seen it firsthand, who know how to combat it, and that's the kind of people I'm looking for. That's the kind of people the whole team's looking for.
Mhm.
And we'll talk later about that, more about it. But you know, you seem like Tiger Ops material.
Sure.
It's good, brother. Thank you. Well, good deal, bro. Thank you. So that's what I want. People like John, people who has had it happen in their family before or knows about it. See, the thing about it is, if you don't know about it, it's evil. What we know it's evil, what we think it's afar. It's not afar, people. It's right in within your sight. With John, it was his family. Look at that. Think about that. Now, just let that think about. Just think about that, just for a little bit. Everybody's putting prayers in the chat for you, John. Thank you. Thank you for everything. And John has made, you know, he's made the move. He's moving forward. He's moving forward. I think there's a lot more that this man can offer. I really do. I really do. And I see it inside of him. Not only is he a leader, not only is he a leader, but I do believe, honestly, I do believe he's also a teacher. I believe he has that teaching qualities and the teaching abilities because he does. Now, I'm going to be talking to a few other people, like I said, team members, and not all people are military, not all people are executive protection. We want people who understand. Like if a case comes in, I've got a case and I'm sitting here looking through. I want to be able to say, hey, I want to hand this down. I want to be able to know if I hand this down to somebody like John and him take a look at it, maybe he'll say, wait a minute, I can relate to this. I want that. I want somebody that can relate to it. That way, guess what? He don't have to hand it off to someone else. Buck stops here, right here. He can come to me. Shell, check this out. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. And he'll have that experience already because guess what? He's had it happen. Now, I think people like that, and you'll be meeting more people. You'll be meeting more people. I want to get it to where it's close. I want to get it to where it's close. What my main goal is, and what our main goal is, Tiger Ops, is to eradicate child predators everywhere. We want child predator free zones. And I think that's what should happen. You know, it comes to me and it's funny because it's easier to rehabilitate a serial killer. The worst drug addict in the world can be rehabilitated, but a child predator, you can't rehabilitate child predators. Think about it, folks. If you don't believe me, Google it. You can look it up. You can look up every little science experiment they got going on. They have experiments right now that they actually hook up devices to child predators. And literally, every time they have that impulse feeling them with a child or something, it shocks them. And they still do it. So if that right there don't tell you something, folks, nothing will. We'll be back right after this. We'll be right back. Thank you all. Much respect. Give it about 3 or 4 minutes. We're actually trying to grab us something to eat right now. We're kind of on the road. We're traveling. We're doing what we need to do, but we're doing the Lord's work. Thank you. Much respect. God bless you all. Be back in about 5 minutes. Okay, good deal, good deal. So I was explaining to John a little bit of things about what we do, how we offer, what and what he could actually help us with. You see, everybody can't just do this. And I'm gonna be honest with you. You know, we could hire professionals all day long. Could hire professionals in a way that it works for us, it works to our advantage. But the fact of the matter is, when it comes right down to it, those professionals, are they going to have as much experience as someone in the field? That's why if you take a pencil pusher, somebody that's in the office all day long, sitting there writing orders up and handing them down, and they hand them down to the field people, are they going to be as good? How do they know? Someone that's never been in the field, how do they know what to actually do? You see what I'm saying? That's why I don't like what's called pencil pushers. Now, all right, getting back into it. John's here with us. He's still with us. He's listening. What do you think about the program so far?
I think it's a very open and I think it's a very good program. I think that's this kind of thing can help a lot of kids.
So
Help a lot of
I've sat here, I've sat here and been talking to you. Have I opened your eyes up?
yes.
Okay. And that's what I want. That's what I want. People who their eyes are closed, but when it comes to them and the information is put out there, it opens them up. It opens their eyes up. That's what I want. I want people to see it and experience it. And I really do think that you can help that. And a matter of fact, I think that you're more of a trainer and a teacher than you would be anything else. You're good. You're good. You're good. Come on. Sorry about that. We had a few members come in and we was talking a little bit, discussing some things. But go ahead, go on with what you say.
I think that nowadays that there's not enough justice to be served to the people that do these things to children. And I'm firsthand witness to that.
Let me ask you a question. Did you ever, with your family and everything, was he ever charged or anything? Did anything ever happen with that? Nothing ever happened.
No physical proof.
No physical proof. But yet, pretty much, 2 scarred children and one not with us right now.
Yeah.
Pretty much what come out. I understand that. But, like I was saying earlier, general awareness is where it's at. Things could have been prevented. This whole thing could have been prevented if people knew what to look for. You see, when you're with your family, of course, you would never ever think anything about, because you're brought up as you're raised. That's your protectors. That would be the last people you would ever think would harm. But the fact of the matter is, even with child predators and when these kids go missing, 92% is the parents.
Yes.
And it's just it's a horrible situation with that. But I do think if things would be more of a grasp, and it was even introduced in the school system, kids know. Kids is old enough to do this. Kids is old enough to learn this. They learn stranger danger, but they don't understand, and they don't learn to the facts of how deep it really goes. And you ever notice when you're talking about anything with child predators, some people, when you get down into the details of it and what actually happened, they turn their head. They can't handle it, right? When you do that, you're giving a child predator the advantage right there, because you're turning away from it. You're like, whoa, it's too much for me. I can't handle this. I got to get out. That is what they count on, because that is when you start learning. That is when you say, hey, wait a minute, this really happens. What do we, then your mind just starts going, and then that's how we come up with our answers. And then you see, that's how I did. The way it was with me, for me and everything, is I would go to these classes. I go to these human trafficking classes in Tennessee. I'd go through, hell, I'd be speaker sometimes. I would do these classes, and I would just over and over and over, everything's basic. Everything's just the basic stuff. Look at their eyes, learn their eyes, look at their, and I'm like, there's got to be more to this. There's got to be more to this. There's got to be a definite way that we can stop child predators and make it more effective. And sure enough, that's what we do. You're good, brother. You're good, brother. So, in with that, when you're talking about child predators alone, it's a different kind of crime. It's a different kind of evil, and most of them are never caught. Example, your father, never caught. Think about it. Now, he was probably a community guy. People liked him.
He was very big in with our local church. He was very
Wow.
He was very wired in.
So he was a church guy,
He was
a local church guy.
Christian.
Wow, a Christian. But yet, behind those closed doors, what no one knew, what was going on, this man was actually a demon.
He was.
You see, that's why I said, in the churches, with the preachers, with coaches, with all of that, they have to get close to children. They'll be the nicest people. They'll be the nicest people you ever met. You would never, ever know what's really going on until they manipulated enough to where they got to that child, and they get that child alone.
How I kind of feel about that is that I think once you get to that certain, like, say if you're a reverend,
Right.
if you're a pastor, you have, like, if they have that on in their head, they feel like they're kind of invincible.
So-
Because they're so held high into the community standard that they feel like they're invincible to that kind of expensive justice.
So, like, where they're already a reverend, preacher of some sort, they're already put on a pedestal anyways.
Yes.
So people look up to them, obviously.
Absolutely.
Obviously. They come to them with their problems. And that also, when you come into somebody with your problems, that can be a gateway into someone, correct? Because you do what? You confide in that person, you trust in that person.
Yeah.
So with that being what it is, you confide in that person. So you release secrets to that person also. After a while, you'll say, hey, look, I don't want to say, and then because you confide in that person's just your person for you. But then what you don't understand is what behind closed doors is what they're actually about. And that's what's sad. That's really part of it. That's really part of it. And I see you're very well educated. You're very well educated because of your past. That made you who you are, correct? That helps you become who you are right now. You know, have you ever been around people and you could just like feel the vibes? You could see things in people like that stand out from just ordinary people. Like, hey, wait a minute, this guy here.
There's some times where, say if I'm sitting in like a regular group of people, right?
Right.
Say if you're going for either Alcoholics Anonymous or they close to that kind of area of things, you can kind of tell that there's a vibe coming off of certain people.
Right.
And, you know, you can go ask them if they're all right. I say, yeah, I'm fine. Girl's good, kind of way. I learned to read people very young.
Read, you know, intellect, attention to detail, the eye, you know what that is. You can catch things, especially if you was experienced in it in the past. See, that's what I've got. That's what a lot of people say about me is I catch on to things really, really easy. No matter if I've never been around it, I catch on to it. Just like what you told me a while ago. Show me how to do it. I can do it. Correct. Good deal.
I'm very good. I'm a very fast learner. If you show me one or two times on the computer, just show me how to do it one time. I'm very quick to learn.
Right. Got you.
And especially with screens. You know, I've been around a computer store since I was a young kid.
There you go. There you go. Now, I just met you today, correct? From the time you knew me, from about what, about, let's see, 20 minutes, 25 minutes probably? What would you say about me?
If I had to read you, I think that, you know, you're doing things because you genuinely believe in it. You're doing things because you have your heart around it.
Can you see the passion
Yes,
that I have for it?
yes,
Can you tell that I'm experienced?
yes.
I know what I'm talking about.
And my biggest thing is honesty.
There you go. Thank you. So, like, by me talking now, do you see things back in your life that relates to it? The way I was talking about manipulation, things of that?
Yeah. Here's the thing about sexual predators, because like I said, from my experience, is that they're very narcissistic.
Narcissistic. There you go. Manipulative.
And that's exactly what he was. He was very, very manipulative, and he was very narcissistic. You know, my entire life, and my mom, you know, she's still living, and I talk to her almost on a daily basis.
Let me ask you a question. I don't mean to cut you off. Do you ever bring that up? Does that ever come up about your sister?
No,
Never does.
More to that.
Is that kind of like put out pretty much? And like it's hid behind the wall, pretty much.
It's never going to be a thing that I forget,
Right,
but it's always going to be a thing that I don't bring up around her.
right. May I ask her age?
My mom,
No, your sister when she passed.
she was 20.
20 years old.
Yeah.
About how many years that you could probably, maybe you know or not know, that she was being abused by you, by him?
To be honest, I feel like, because, you know, obviously she's older than I was. But I believe that was from the time that she was about 4 until the time she was 17.
4 years old till she was 17. 4.
Yeah.
You see, there's a thing with predators in 4. I've never asked him this question before, folks, but what do I say about 4? Why is it always something to do with 4? Why is it always something to do with 4? I'll teach you all that. I'll teach you that with Tiger Ops. Now, you see, the thing about it is 4 years old until she was 17. Of course, when she's 17, she's getting ready to hit 18 to make her own decisions, pretty much, right? So obviously, she's getting the hell out of Dodge, getting out of the way, getting out. But she went into the wrong things, correct? She went into the first thing it would probably, you know, that she thought that was different.
Yes.
And that's what happened. You know, I hate that. I really do, brother. I do. I hate that. I really do hate that. Hold on a second here. It's flashed over here. But if there's anything you could take back from that, even in your case, and you learn something from it, what would you say to someone else that may be going through the same problem, and then we could maybe prevent that from happening? What would you say to that person?
Don't let revenge take it on by yourself. Don't take on revenge on them,
Don't take on revenge on your own.
because it's in God's hands. Not your own.
It's in God's hands. That's awesome. Well, you heard it here, guys. This is John. Everyone put some hands in the chat for John. Put some prayers in chat for him. Man's going good right now. He's advanced his life. He really has advanced his life. He has. He's done that. He's able to do that now. You know, he turned his adversities into advantages. Advantages. Think about it. He's done it. Proven now. Thank you. Thank you all. We'll be back at 4:30, guys. 4:30 is going to be a good day. We're going to be, guess what? We're going to have Kemper. We're going to have Kemper. And it's going to be Shell and Kemper. Enemies come together for a better cause and a bigger cause. Thank you all. Much respect. God bless you all. Thank you all for fighting a good fight. I'll see you guys. Have fun and be safe. And what is that we say? We the people will protect the children at all costs. Have fun, guys.
My best friend gave me the best advice. He said each day's a gift and not a given right. Leave no stone unturned. Leave your fears behind. And try to take the path less traveled by. That first step you take is the longest ride. If today was your last day, tomorrow was too late, just say goodbye to yesterday. Lightning tiger strikes, predators in his sights. Bounty hunters creed, with skills that only make you bleed. He turns down the wine, but he has the bloodline. He's fierce and strong, fighting all night long. He knows and strong, fighting all night long. He knows you're there as he senses you in the air. The ultimate super soldier of the night. Chaos within sight as his strategies will make you think twice. He is the killer inside. A nightmare to some and a dream to others. He kills all everyone, especially as long as he is a predator. Strong as can be, he takes these fools and makes them see the rescue is near. Nickeling us in fear. Caliber is done as he turns to run. We the people will protect the children. Shadow in the dark, leaving his mark. Tiger on the prowl, hear his battle growl. Your time is up, listen here what's up, come. It's Ernie Shell, and he will put you in hell. Your time is near, do you feel the fear? Shadow predators fear him, he's silent as he kills them. Always face to face, ruthless in the chase. He is the man, and he will take down the stand. 12 is 12, P.O. You know your name, Jimbo. He is the killer inside. A nightmare to some and a dream to others. He cares for everyone, especially his lover. He is a predator, so as strong as can be. He takes these fools and makes them see. The rescue is near.